There is a question most dog owners never think to ask. What if the love I'm giving isn't the love being received? Not because you aren't trying, not because you don't care, but because somewhere between the food bowls and the belly rubs and the leash clicks, a quiet gap opened up and your dog has been standing on the other side of it, patient as only a dog can be, hoping you'll find your way across. This isn't about being a bad owner. Most people reading this are devoted. But devotion without understanding is just well-meaning noise, and your dog deserves more than noise. 1. Give them a place that belongs only to them. Watch your dog the next time the world gets too loud when guests arrive, when a thunderstorm rolls in, when the energy in the room shifts. Where do they go? Under the bed, behind the sofa, into whatever narrow, shadowed corner the house will allow them. And watch what most owners do next. They follow, they coax, they pull the dog back into the light because something must be wrong. Nothing is wrong. Something is finally right, and you interrupted it. Dogs carry within them a memory older than any breed standard or training manual. Their ancestors didn't survive by being in the open. They survived by having a place that was theirs, enclosed, scent-marked, known. A den wasn't a retreat from life. It was the foundation from which life became bearable. That instinct hasn't been bred out. It's been buried under hardwood floors and throw pillows, but it fires the same as it always did whenever the world becomes too much. Research in applied animal behavior has shown that dogs given a consistent, enclosed resting space carry measurably lower levels of cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, than those without one. This isn't about comfort or preference. This is physiology. This is your dog's nervous system making a request it doesn't have words for. Look around your home right now. Is there a place your dog can go where no one will follow? A crate left open with a worn blanket inside. A dog bed pressed into a quiet corner. A space under a table that smells like them and only them. If the answer is no, then every hard moment in your dog's day is a storm they're weathering in the middle of an open field. Give them the den. Watch them exhale. Watch them, paradoxically, start spending more time with you, because a dog who has somewhere to retreat will never need to disappear. 2. Stop touching them before they ask. Here is the hardest truth in this piece, so read it slowly. Your dog loves you, and your dog, most of the time, would prefer you didn't touch them right now. Not always, not forever. But in the quiet moments when they're resting on the floor and your hand reaches down automatically, when they settle beside you and you immediately begin to stroke their ears, what feels like affection to you can feel like something else entirely to them. Dogs have a concept of bodily autonomy that researchers have only recently begun to take seriously. Every uninvited touch, however gentle, sends a signal. Your signals don't govern what happens to your body. Minedo. One touch harmless, dozens per day, compounded across weeks and years, and something corrodes. The dog stops signaling what they want, because signaling has never changed anything. Researchers call this learned helplessness. It manifests not as aggression usually, but as a kind of resignation. A dog who has stopped trying to communicate their needs because communication was never honored. Studies from veterinary behavioral science have found that dogs given more control over their interactions with people form stronger bonds with those same people and show significantly less anxiety. The counterintuitive truth: restraint is intimacy. So learn to read the invitation. The chin that drops onto your knee, the nose that pushes up under your palm, the slow, deliberate walk toward you that ends with their weight pressing against your leg. Those are your dog choosing you. Everything else is you choosing for them. Try this today. Let your dog walk past without reaching. Sit beside them without touching. Keep your hands still and see what happens in the space your restraint creates. Most owners discover the same thing. Their dog, the dog they'd been reaching for, constantly starts coming to them. Not because they trained them to, but because they finally became a person it felt safe to move toward. 3. Come down to their world. When did you last sit on the floor with your dog for no reason at all? Not to clip their nails, not to examine a wound, not to wrangle them into a harness, simply to be present at their level with nothing to accomplish. Consider what you look like to your dog on an ordinary day. You are enormous. You are vertical. You move fast and unpredictably, and you control everything: the food, the door, the schedule, the quality of the afternoon. From below, even a loving owner reads as something to be monitored. Canine cognition research has confirmed what intuition already suggests. Dogs read physical size and posture through the same neural lens their ancestors used to evaluate predators. They can't turn this off. It runs beneath every interaction. A background calculation: is this moment safe? But lower yourself to the floor, and that calculation changes completely. Dogs approach people who are crouched or seated faster, with more relaxed body language, than they approach the same person standing, even a person they have known their entire lives. The posture communicates something no command ever could. I am not asking anything of you right now. I am just here. Try it today. Go to whatever room your dog is resting in. Sit down a few feet away. Don't call them. Don't pat the ground. Don't make a sound. Just exist in their space, at their height, and be still. Watch what happens to their eyes. For rescue dogs, for shy dogs, for dogs whose first instinct is to flinch, this single practice can do more work than months of structured training, because you are not asking them to come to your world. You are finally going to theirs. 4. Let them finish the sentence. Your dog's nose is not a distraction, it is a mind. The numbers are staggering but worth saying. Roughly 300 million olfactory receptors versus our 6 million. A brain region dedicated to scent analysis that is proportionally 40 times larger than ours. When your dog drops their nose to a patch of earth, they are not dawdling. They are reading, absorbing a layered, complex, time-stamped record of every living thing that passed through this exact spot and everything it was carrying when it did. Every time you pull them away mid-sniff, you are closing that book 2 pages before the ending. And you do it constantly. On every walk, at every lamppost, every route, every unremarkable square of grass your dog finds inexplicably compelling, you pull the leash and move on because there's somewhere to be, a distance to cover, a routine to complete. But research has made something clear. Dogs allowed to sniff freely during walks return home with measurably lower stress hormones than dogs who walk the same distance without stopping. The walk is not the point. The sniffing is the point. It is how your dog metabolizes the world, how they process information, regulate emotion, and recover from the accumulated pressure of living inside a human life they didn't design and can't control. When you rush the walk, you're not just shortening it. You're cutting off one of the primary ways your dog has of putting themselves back together. The fix is simple, even if it requires something harder than effort. Slowness. Choose a route where stopping is fine. Give them the command, go sniff, and then genuinely mean it. Let 3 minutes pass at a single fence post and understand that those 3 minutes may be the most restorative part of their day. 5. Build a rhythm they can fall into. Your dog knows when you're usually home. They have known, probably, for years, stationed by the window or the door before your car turns onto the street. Most owners find this charming. Few understand what it means. Dogs do not experience time the way we do, as hours counted forward or deadlines approaching. They experience time as pattern. The morning walk, then the quiet, the feeding, then the nap, the sound of your keys, then your voice. These rhythms don't just structure their day, they are their sense of safety. You are the center of a map they have drawn entirely from repetition, and when the map holds, they can rest. When it breaks, even slightly, even temporarily, the ground beneath them becomes unknowable. Behavioral research has found that unpredictable daily routines are among the most potent contributors to chronic anxiety in dogs, more significant, in many cases, than lack of socialization or even past trauma. The disruptions being measured aren't dramatic. Feeding times that drift by an hour, play sessions that disappear for a week, an owner who comes home anywhere between 5 and 9, depending on the day. To you, that is just life. To your dog, the thing they were counting on has become the thing they can no longer count. The solution isn't rigidity, it's reliability in the moments that matter most. Feed them around the same time, have a play session they can anticipate. Sit in the same chair each evening if that is all you can manage, because that chair, at that hour, becomes a landmark on the map they need to feel safe. Here is what so many owners miss in their pursuit of a calmer, more connected dog. Routine is the work. A dog whose nervous system is always bracing for the next unpredictable shift cannot fully relax into the present moment, cannot fully open to connection, even with someone they love, even in the same room, even when everything else is right. Give them the rhythm, let them exhale into it, and discover what a dog looks like when they finally feel steady enough to give you everything they have. 6. Talk to them. Out loud, like you mean it. Most people already do this when they think no one is watching. They narrate their morning aloud in the kitchen. They debrief their day to a pair of ears that never judge. They say, "Good morning," to a face that is already watching them from across the room. And then they feel slightly embarrassed when someone catches them at it. They shouldn't, because that instinct, the one that says this creature deserves to be spoken to, is one of the most scientifically sound things a dog owner can do. Dogs have lived alongside humans for somewhere between 15,000 and 40,000 years. In that time, they did not simply learn to tolerate us. They evolved specifically to understand us, our faces, our gestures, our moods, and above all, the sounds we make when we open our mouth. No other species on Earth has developed this capacity to the same degree. Not horses, not primates, not any animal that shares our world. Neuroscience has confirmed what anyone who has owned a dog already suspected. Dogs process human speech using a bilateral brain structure similar to our own, parsing both the meaning of words and the emotional tone they're delivered in. They are not simply hearing sound, they are receiving communication. Separately, researchers have shown that dogs respond measurably differently to speech directed at them versus speech directed at someone else, even when the words are identical. They know when you're talking to them. They have always known. So speak. Tell them good morning. Narrate dinner. Talk in the car. Let them hear your voice on the hard days. Not because it will fix anything, but because it will include them. Because you will be treating them the way they actually deserve to be treated. Not as something to be managed, but as a presence that has organized its entire emotional life around yours. When a dog knows they are seen, truly seen, not just fed and walked and kept alive, something loosens in them. A depth of trust becomes available that no toy unlocks, no training class produces, no amount of correct behavior will generate. The space between you, your dog is not waiting for you to be perfect. They are not keeping score. They do not hold grudges against the years of rushed walks and uninvited petting and routines that slip. They are waiting, with the bottomless patience that is perhaps their most extraordinary quality, for the version of you that sits on the floor and slows down and speaks and waits. That version of you was always there. It just needed someone to remind you it mattered. Your dog has been trying to do exactly that every single day, in the only language they have. It's time to learn how to listen